Hey, this is Chris, the Idaho Painter. Thanks for watching this free lesson on how to epoxy a garage floor. If you want to see more of my comprehensive course, it's at paintlifesupply.com. It goes over estimating, it goes over marketing, it goes over all the steps to complete a professional garage epoxy floor. So hopefully you enjoy this lesson. Thank you for watching. All right, now I've got my pressure washing, cleaning, degreasing all done. Came out here, used the pressure washer, the all-surface cleaner, and the rotating nozzle to thoroughly clean this. It's absolutely spotless now. So now, we've waited 2 days. Typically, you're gonna wanna wait 2 days before you do any work on the garage floor. It's been 2 days, and now we're gonna begin the filling of our saw cuts, filling of cracks, and the joints around where the footings are, and then we're gonna begin the priming process. So before I begin, working here, I'm gonna blow this out. It's just, as the garage doors have been open, when it was drying out, it was windy, it's blown in some tree seeds and stuff. Our feet have tracked in a little bit of dirt. I'm gonna blow this out now. We're going to fill, shave our filler, get it all level, and then I'll blow it out one more time. So I typically just have a battery operated blower that I blow everything out with and get this all the debris out of here, because we don't want any debris getting mixed in with our primer. So it's just a simple little process. I'm gonna begin blowing it out. All right, now I'm getting ready to do our filler for our saw joints and our footing joints. So I'm gonna be using, 2 different products. I'm using a Rust-Oleum product, Concrete Saver Pro. This is a non-sag sealant, so I can, if there's any like cracks in the corners or cracks on your footings or stem walls, this is a non-sag product that you can fill those cracks with right here. And so this is a 1-part product, just gonna put it into a standard caulking tube. We've got a 2-part product. So this is Polyflex 93, and this is a high-strength polyurea elastomer that's gonna go in our saw cuts. So it's a 2-part product, 100% solids. It's a self-leveling product and a fast cure product. So we're gonna you'll overfill your saw cuts, and then you go back, it dries about 45 minutes to an hour. You go back, scrape it flat. That way you'll end up having a seamless floor. I like my floors, being seamless. I don't like to see saw cuts. I don't like to see products, that shrink and kind of like leave an indentation, where the saw cut is. We like to have a seamless floor. So that's this product. Eventually, when you set it up and begin gunning it, the first tube of the stuff, you're just gonna eject it and get rid of it. But then after that, you're gonna begin filling your cracks with it. The 1-part product, you can just go put it in the cracks. We're just trying to get the fine crack along the footing where the seam board is. I'm just gonna fill that crack. When we go back and prime, the primer is gonna cover over the top of that board, and then our coating, our layers of our coating will end up filling that in. So this is a toolable product that I'm actually gonna be applying and tooling. This is a non-toolable self-leveling product that you just scrape off, and you'll see what that looks like, as we go. So I'm gonna begin the process doing our saw cuts and joints. Once again, this is Polyflex 93, kind of just sets in the gun, just like a typical caulking gun, snaps in place. So I just pulled off the cap. There's a little cap right here. Just gonna discard that. Typically keep, just like a 5-gallon bucket, keep some rags available, keep some latex gloves available. This stuff, is kind of nasty. You don't want to get it, on yourself. So gun's all ready to go. Start gunning it. You start gunning, and you'll see it start to just fill the tube, and it's swirling itself through the tube, and it's mixing it. Now, just like that. You have your 2-part filler mixing it. So the first bit, the first tube, I eject it into, you can inject it into a glove, or you can inject it into a bucket, just like that. Just like that, it's ready to go. Now I can begin filling. So I'm gonna begin filling my crack, and you want to make sure you're overfilling it, because you gotta have something to scrape. Sets up, once it mixes through this tube, it sets up in 45 minutes to an hour. Once your tube runs out, you just cover it with the tip, and I'll get another tube. When I get close to the outside, I'm gonna slow down because I don't want a lot pouring outside the door. I just started thinking, if I stuffed a piece of backer rod. So I'm just gonna give you a simple tip, like when you're moving around, with the product, don't invert your gun upside down, because this stuff can start pouring back down inside the tubes and cause it to activate inside the tube. So keep tip down when you're moving wherever you're going. So just like this, my tip is down. You don't want to walk with the tip up. So next crack, we're gonna move over here. Or that's a saw cut, not a crack, but. So if you're, attempting to do floor coatings, in the winter time, this product right here that I'm using, you could actually apply this product all the way down to -20. So pretty much cold temperatures aren't much of a factor when it comes to this product. If you're doing large projects, they do sell this kit for large projects. So they have 10-gallon kits that you can use a machine to actually apply it with. It takes the cost down significantly of the product, per kit. So consider that if you're doing large projects. I got this really small crack. This will be amazing because it'll just get really down. It's like this small crack, the consistency of the product. It's gonna get down in there, fill that. This thing will just completely go away. I'm just gonna keep my eye on it because it's not big enough to get back a rod. We got one spot where it's starting to sink down in. I'm gonna go back over it here when I get to the end. So I'm just working along here. So all I'm trying to do, there's just a small crack where this board meets our footing. We don't want our coating to disappear. We don't want bugs coming up through there. So the primer will get on top of this board and prime it. So I'm just doing a small bead and then tooling it with my finger. Just keeping a cardboard with me right here to just wipe it on. So I'm using, once again on this, up against this footing, I'm using Rust-Oleum's Non-Sag Sealant. This is their Concrete Saver Pro. So it's a product you can actually tool, a product that if I had cracks up on like my stem walls or the footings, I can actually put it in those cracks, fill those cracks, and it's not gonna sag or run down. So I'm just lightly touching it when I get it into this crack after I put a small bead in there just to help push it down inside that crack. So just a few kind of features on this product here that I'm using. You know, this is 100% solids product, so it won't shrink. I've used products in the past. You know, you fill a crack, it dries, cures, and it shrinks, and now you kind of have a indentation, you know, where your crack was. Being 100% solids, it's not gonna shrink. It's also paintable. Product is also can be applied if there's moisture around. So if the concrete's moist, it'll still bond, stick. So we are filling our saw cuts, shaving them off with our floor scraper. Once again, we did use Polyflex 93 right here, high strength polyurea filler. So, you know, one of the things, you know, this is a product, two-part product with the tube that actually mixes it. So as actually, when it's going up this tube, it's mixing it and basically catalyzing it together and activating it. So, you know, one of the things, you know, reading the TDS, the product is pretty thick, but then it is actually shakeable. It does say on the TDS to shake this. It doesn't say how long to shake it, but it does say to actually, shake this before you start using it and applying it. And I don't know, like there could be something to the whole shaking process. It doesn't feel like, I feel anything moving around in there because it is completely full, no air bubbles. But, we had some a little bit that was a little bit greener, a little bit grayer right there. And maybe the shaking process will help eliminate that at all. Badass. Now I'm beginning to scrape off the coating now. It's been over 45 minutes. Heck, it's been over like an hour. So you can see it just cuts right off with a floor blade, shaves it right off flat. That way when you do your coating, you literally will have a seamless floor. So see, it just shaves off wherever I got any drips. Could just shave those drips off. So here's what it looks like. And I got more than one blade. So I got a pack of blades, because the blades will eventually get dull when it starts to not cut it real easy. Then just switch out your blade. So I start from one tip of the blade and kind of work it to the other end of the blade. Just push with my hips. Now I can start to see it kind of pull on my sealant and not cut it, smooth. You can start to see it leave it kind of like what I call all jagged a little bit. So I'm gonna switch out my blade, put another blade on so it starts cutting again. Now I got my blade switched out. Once I'm done, with my floor scraper, I think I got all my scraping done. Just flip your blade upside down so nobody gets cut. And then there's a sheet that goes over the top of that. But I just flip them over. There's the flat side. Right here is not gonna cut anybody. So floor scraping's done. Ready to start priming.